Hey, I'm back. Sorry that took so long. There were a lot more people there than I expected. The event? Yeah, it was nice. The princess is well known for her fabulous parties, and I'm always honored to be invited. But she and I have been friends long enough that she should know by now that I find them quite exhausting. Oh, yeah, I'll be fine. You wouldn't know it, but she used to be pretty reserved, and she used to hate things like that. I think these new parties are her way of making up for lost time. How's your synthesis going? Are you working on that new staff of yours? Nice. That one has served you well for quite some time, but it's always exciting having a new staff. I'm going to make some tea. Would you like some? Of course. It is a bit sad, though, sometimes. A new staff, or I guess not using your old one anymore. For most alchemists, myself included, a staff is a symbol of our alchemy, more than anything else, except maybe our outfits. It's tradition. My master made my first alchemist's outfit, her master made hers, his master made his, and so on. So, of course, I made yours. Here. Obviously, with our outfits, durability, protection, and utility are priorities, but as is tradition, we also have a tendency to go a little overboard on the designs. We just can't help it. We're proud of our apprentices and feel like they deserve something special. Yep, even at the beginning. Anyone can learn alchemy, but certainly not everyone does. And you, my dear apprentice, have learned a lot so far. You flatter me, but it's because you worked hard for it. You know, it's hard to believe you're already about halfway through your apprenticeship. Wow, that's a really beautiful staff. For an alchemist, the first staff you ever use, which was probably made by your master, is obviously very special. But the staves that an alchemist makes themselves are special in a different way. And a careful eye can learn a lot about the alchemist from their staff. I actually still have every staff I've ever used. The one my master gave me when I first started, and all the ones I've made since. I really haven't shown you before? Yeah, we can do that sometime. I'm warning you now, though, it won't be a short affair. There are many stories to tell. requests due tomorrow than I'd thought. I'd been planning to work on these tonight, but with as long as the princess's party went, I'm not sure there's time now. I hate to do this, but would you mind helping me with some of these orders? Well, I always appreciate the offer, but I turn you down because I want you to focus on your own responsibilities. Your studies, your requests, your adventures. You're my apprentice, not my assistant. But, this time it seems like I might have bitten off more than I can chew. It doesn't happen that often. Sure, it happens from time to time, but... Okay, so it's something that happens a lot. But these clients really needed some help. I simply can't leave people in distress like that. Thanks. I'll try to keep that in mind. No promises, though. Anyway, let's see what we've got. Mel needs her regular resupply of potions. Amelia requested a few custom fabrics. I have both of those done already. Amber requested a number of butterfly fish, which I don't have enough of. Lillian, an alchemist friend of mine in Reyes, whom I don't think you've met, requested help devising a recipe for a slime communicator because of course she did. Tori requested 3 Magistone necklaces for her adventuring party. And Sophie requested a shining cardiac crystal, which I was misremembering is just a crimson stone. That's gonna take all night, if not longer. It was, 8 butterfly fish, specifically. Why? Oh, that'd be a big help, saving me from having to go gather some, but are you sure? If you gathered them, then... Thanks. I'll make sure to grab some extra next time I go gathering to make up for it. I insist. And would you mind doing the Magistone necklaces? They should be pretty straightforward for you, and that would free me up to do all the prerequisite scents for the crystal, and I can work on that recipe at the same time. Don't worry. Just trying is plenty, thanks. It's mostly just combining a bunch of gemstones on a chain necklace, but I can definitely find the recipe for you. Here we go. Draconic Divination, even if that title doesn't quite make sense. It was definitely an alchemist who collected a bunch of gems and then was just trying to figure out what to do with them. And sometimes we come up with recipes because we need a certain type of item. A lot of healing items are created that way, for example. And other times it's just that we have a lot of ingredients taking up space and we want to find use for them. But here's the recipe. No, it's really not bad. The necklace chain and the cardinal gemstones to imbue their magical powers. I've made them a few times and they've never been too much of an issue. I just don't have time to make them tonight. You're really fine with it? I really appreciate it, but... Yeah, 3 of them. I know we have enough of the raw gems, but I don't think we have enough of the processed gemstones, so you'll probably need to start there. Thanks. I'll start working on all these constituent ingredients. Oh, while you're in there, can you check to see if we have any eclipse flowers? I used a few for some mist elixirs the other day, but I think there should still be a couple. If not, I'll have to... Oh, perfect. I think that's the only raw ingredient I need that I wasn't sure about. Go grab what you need and I'll get this set up, okay? That's a very good question. Let me check. It looks like Tori specifically wanted 2 with defensive traits and 1 with more of an offensive focus. The different gems each carry different magical powers, and chaining them together amplifies and tempers those powers. So I want to say it's a matter of varying the sapphire's influence, specifically, but you can check the recipe. But beyond that... Yeah, exactly. You've got this. Let's see... Dragon Tongue, Eclipse Flower, Spirit Tears, and hopefully I still have that extra aroma materia. I double checked, and I do have all the raw ingredients I'll need for the synthesis, which means it's not going to really be a problem. And merely tedious, since I'm going to need to make a lot of polychromatic catalysts. I suppose that's not surprising. Sophie... Well, Sophie has a tendency to come up with rather unorthodox ideas, so this is definitely not a standard item, for better or worse. But as I said, at this point it's mostly just a bit of a slow process because it requires so many ingredients. Yeah, that's true. I don't think you'll have any problem with those. You know, it feels like it's been a long time since we synthesized together like this. We installed the second cauldron for you, but I can't remember the last time we've both worked on something together. Exactly, so, even though I wish I hadn't left so many requests all to the last moment, this is kinda nice. Don't you think so? I mean, as your teacher, I've definitely been paying attention to your progress, but I think tonight is the first time I've actually internalized how much you've grown. How long has it been since you became my apprentice? 2 years? Has it been that? No, that is right, isn't it? And yet, it feels like only yesterday that you fainted in the middle of your first synthesis. I suppose you're right. That wasn't really a fair synthesis for you, was it? Though, you might be close to being able to make it on your own now. It's hard to know for sure, but yeah, I suspect you'd be able to make it soon. I remember early on in my apprenticeship, and later too, there were these items that I saw Master make that just seemed really cool. Candies that let you breathe underwater, these super cute heart-shaped flasks, a liquid that can harden whatever it's poured on. Of course, I've also seen interesting things on my own and tried to recreate them. Things like Lucidy's flying broom or the forest spirit and the flower crowns I saw during the war. So I definitely understand that warm, bubbly feeling you get when you're finally able to make these things you'd looked up to, you know? It's a great, concrete way to feel like you've actually progressed. Oh? Had I not told you? Yeah, this kingdom participated in a war a few years ago. There wasn't really any fighting here, but I was commissioned by the princess for supplies. Potions, of course, but I also helped out with the medals for Karin's armor commissions, as well as a few special items, like the arboreal elixir I developed. But the point is that it's really satisfying to make new items you've never made before, either because they're difficult recipes or because you created the recipes yourself, you know? Exactly! I love trying to come up with new recipes. On the other hand, this request from Lillian, I'm not really sure what to do about it yet. No, she's an alchemist, so she can make the item. She just wanted me to come up with the recipe since that's not her strong suit. You know the slimes, right? Well, she wants an item that will allow her to speak with them. She has a particular fascination with them, let's say. But there's not even much precedent for translating between different human languages, so it's going to require a fair bit of thinking. I've thought about it a little bit, but the issue is that there are two parts. Understanding what the slimes say, but also making it so that they understand what you say. Telepathy? That's a good idea, but I can't think of any instance where an alchemist was able to create functional telepathy. It might have been done before, but if it has, I haven't heard about it, and I can't think of any obvious way we might go about it. And the slimes, as a rule, can't read or write, which I thought about doing something to render the speech into writing, but that wouldn't really help at all. You're right. Though honestly, I'm almost surprised that she hasn't learned it. With her obsession, she might as well be part slime anyway. What's wrong? You seem to be spacing out on me. Oh? Yeah, soul transfers can technically be done, but it requires some very technical and high-level alchemy. But I don't see how. that would certainly be the most complicated synthesis Liliane has ever done, but doing a partial soul transfer is simpler in some ways and more complicated in others, so it might be doable for her. If not now, then it's something she can work for. But that's a really creative idea. Souls of different creatures can cohabitate in one host in a way that the dominant soul can sort of control. It's a delicate balance, but that should work. Yeah, it would give Liliane the ability to use the slime's own ability to communicate with each other without actually having to take the time to learn it. Plus, knowing her, the mere thought of becoming part slime will thrill her. Oh, definitely. She's definitely a character. But she'll love your idea, so thank you. Maybe you haven't, but you did come up with the mechanism by which it works, which is often the harder part. And with that idea in mind, I'm thinking soul absorption vessel, a rainbow slime part to extract the soul from, an eclipse flower to power it, and a purified ghost orb to help transfer the soul to Liliane. Yeah, I'll need to do the calculations to confirm that it'll work as intended, but once you've been an alchemist for long enough and you've done enough varied and bizarre syntheses, you start to get a feel for these sorts of things. Well, the interesting part of this prep work is done, at least. Now, on to the tedious part of making a couple dozen of each other ingredient. This? Yeah. Well, people often say that this is the goal, or the pinnacle of alchemy, or that it's a mark that someone has mastered it, and while it might be true to say that many alchemists never make one, though I'm quite certain that you will as well, there's always more to learn and to make. I see that look. But think about it this way. 2 years ago, you didn't even know what alchemy was, and now you're taking on your own alchemy jobs and even helping me with mine. That's a lot of progress. Sure, I could make those. And I probably would have come up with the recipe for Liliane's thing eventually too, but I didn't. You did. Soon enough, you'll finish your apprenticeship and be ready to be a fully fledged alchemist in your own right. You'll be more than ready to start your own atelier or whatever else you might want to do. Plus, there's something of a tradition of alchemy apprentices coming to surpass their masters, so I'm going to have to be keeping an eye on you, lest I let myself fall too quickly. Of course. I knew from the start that you had a lot of potential if you wanted to put in the effort to learn. And I wasn't wrong. Now, shall we continue? All right then.